Andrada, huge welcome to the Six Welcome. First up, quickly, what's it like just looking back at that?
I cringe. I haven't had a proper chance to look at it back, so I just find it so weird to look at myself on the screen.
You made such a good impression, and the outfits as well. You should be proud of yourself, girl.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much.
We have to talk about everything. Yeah. So much happened. I was going to say, have you managed to watch any of it back, or what have you seen so far? And again, what's it like watching your time in there now from the other side?
It's just like I find it a little bit mad because like I'm looking at myself cracking on and having these like cringy, sloppy lines, and I'm like, what are you doing? But it's nice to watch it back at the same time. I didn't get a chance to proper watch everything yet, so I'm still yet to see.
Well, yeah,
some bits.
I'm sure you've been 90 as of late, but you will. Well, you entered through Casa Amor, which is a risky time to be a Love Islander, risky time to be in the villa because you're trying to make connections fast. What was it like?
Yeah, it is very risky, and some people actually turn it down when they get asked to go to Casa because like you just don't know how long you have. But I know what I can bring, so I'm like, let's just bring it on. But yeah, it is very risky because you probably have 2 days, and to build a connection that quickly in such a short period of time is a lot of pressure. But
going on before, you were watching it, so you knew maybe who you would possibly like. So did you have a bit of a plan going in there? Did it help?
It's not that I had a plan, but I had my top 3 going in.
Okay.
So I knew who I liked, I knew who I would get along with, but it is very different when you go in there. So I took it with a pinch of salt as well. Like Ben was my top 3 in there, but then I kind of took him out, seen some bits and how he's acted, but then went in person, I'm like, you're actually such a different person. So yeah, it was nice.
You mentioned that you must have felt such a huge amount of pressure to actually make it into the villa. How would you describe that? The pressure you were feeling and trying to make a connection potentially with someone who's already loved up with someone else, obviously loved up in inverted commas. What was that like for you?
It was a lot of pressure, and I knew it was a big risk to take, but I just know what I bring, and I'm like, bring it on. Like, I love a challenge, so I would actually rather do that than just go for a safe option. For me, it's like, you know what, the cookie that you can't have.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So,
I love it. But like going in there, right, you're trying to build connections. Obviously, you have to pull people for these chats. Like, this is the main thing about Love Island that people love. But are the chats, to be honest, is it awkward when you're pulling people for these chats?
a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, it is, because it's like that like dry talk at the start. And like it's the constant, you constantly have to do it. And like, what's your favourite colour? What do you like to eat? Do you know what I mean? Like it is a lot of like just dry chat, but it's nothing that you can't handle in there because that's what you're going in for. Do you know what I mean?
Is it what you thought it would be, having watched the show? I'm sure you have other seasons of the show. What's that like compared to actually then doing it and living it?
I feel like it is a lot more pressure because like you're in there and like you're meeting these people and like certain conversations you want to have and you kind of have to hold off because other people are like having those conversations. So it is more like if I wanted to speak to somebody, maybe I'd have to wait until they're speaking to somebody else, as per se. It's not as like flowy as it looks.
Let's get into the juicy bits. Let's talk about your relationships with Dejon and Ben. What were they like?
Dejon and Ben, two different connections I had with the two of them. So Dejon, as I said,
I probably should have said connections instead of relationships.
Yeah, connection. Ben is like the best, the boy version of me. So I loved getting to know him because he brought that goofy side out of me. And I did say before going in the show, I wanted to find somebody that makes me laugh. And Ben does make me laugh. With Dejon, it was more of like a sexual chemistry, more like intriguing in that sense. Obviously, he had Meg on the other side. So I was like, what can I do to bring a different side out of Dejon? So it was just two different things that I had.
Okay. Now, you mentioned there Dejon was partnered up with Meg. It's fair to say you clashed just a little bit with Meg. Just a little bit. But now that we have you here, set the record straight, what actually happened in there?
No, what you saw is what actually happened. It was the big movie night, and she did see on the screen me cracking on with Dejon, and then obviously somebody had gone up and said that I'm trying to hear the conversation. That wasn't actually it. I was just like, oh my God, I can hear them kind of screaming. It wasn't necessarily to try to hear their conversation. That kind of tipped her over the edge, but it wasn't that. Obviously, it was just because I was getting to know him. And then, yeah, she was just got really like rowdy and like kind of in my face, and I'm not the one to back down.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Kind of tipped her over the edge.
Trust the Irish to know that. Trust the Irish to do that. But like when it comes to female friendships in there, especially your first night going into the big villa, was it intimidating? Was there any girls in particular character that you connected with straight away?
It can be intimidating, of course. I just don't get intimidated. I'm just like, do you know what? I'll do what I want. I'll say what I want and I'll stand on it. So it's not something that I was necessarily afraid of, but it is a lot. And there is a division between the girls. And do you know what? It's like that on the outside as well. You're not going to connect with everybody. You're not going to be friends with everybody.
Yeah.
So that's the same in there as well. But as per se, I think Meg and Helena are more like, if you kind of get into their relationship and, like, you know what I mean, if it can have an impact, then they would be a little bit more cold towards you.
Are you still watching the show, and who do you want to win?
I haven't been able to watch it properly. I've watched snippets. And do you know what? It's so hard when you guys ask me that because the connections aren't great this year.
No.
They're not. There's just so much drama, so much chaos. I am rooting for Yaz and Jamie.
Okay.
I just feel like seeing them even in the inside, they just got along. There was no drama between them. It was smooth sailing. And I rate them both. I like them both as people individually.
And do you think they're popular with the audience as well?
I think they are. I think they're very much loved. I feel like Jamie is staying true to himself, and so is Yaz. Whatever Yaz says, she stands on it.
Yeah.
Even like us girls, we'd be like, maybe we should apologise for that. Yaz was like, I'm not apologising for it. Like before the movie now, we were like, I apologise in advance before what you see. And Yaz was like, I don't. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Well, speaking
Well,
of
I love
that,
that.
there's a lot of drama with Harry. I don't know if you've managed to watch any of that back or even seen some bits. What's it like watching that as a viewer, knowing you've lived it?
I love Harry. He's actually my very good friend in there. But my God, is he acting chaotically. He's not doing himself justice and he's not treating girls right. And it's actually, it is a bit ridiculous, his career. And to go exclusive, to then go back to say you were in a friendship couple, but then it just doesn't make sense. And it's just not nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't rate how he's carrying on at all.
Yeah, well, I have to ask you this because obviously you're so busy. I'm sure the last week has been a whirlwind for you and you're only catching your breath. But what's next for you, Andrada? What would you love to do?
Like, before doing this, I was putting myself out there in regards to influencing and, like, doing fashion content and beauty content. I do want to pursue that as well. I love that. It was my hobby outside of it. So I would love to see what the future holds for me in that regards and just take it each day as it comes, really.
I love it.
She said everything but nothing at the same time.
She's keeping her cards close to her chest, Brian.
Next, we're going to be chatting with the first ever winner of Big Brother, Craig Phillips. We're very excited. Would you ever be tempted to do a show like Big Brother? Would that appeal to you?
I'm always open-minded, baby. Always open-minded. So, yeah, something that I could think of course.
Any reality TV show in particular you'd love to do or try out?
I'd love to go dance with the stars. I love dancing.
Ooh.
I'd love to do something like that, yeah.
Oh, there tends to be...
Talk to your husband, Brian.
Listen, I talk to my husband, yeah. There tends to always be someone... Yeah, we had a Love Island. I remember on my season of the show back in 2020.
You had Yolande.
Yeah, she was fabulous. They're
Okay.
casting the show now. What's your dancing like?
I'm actually a good dancer, you know. I actually am. I'm going to give myself that. I think I can dance now. We shall see, but...
Should bring the fire.
I'll bring
the
the fire.
sauciness.
She just said there, we will see. So is that an exclusive?
I don't know. I really don't know. Cards close to your chest as always.
Give it up for Andrada, everybody.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.